shoot. Tank. Well, sorry about that. I actually not going to be here very long. I always joke about there not being any guitar emergencies, and yet I had one today. Not really an emergency. Well, it's just time sensitive work. So working on a TV show, and they're going into mixing, I think, today. And then I was accompanying an orchestra on this section. Hey, Sam. Accompanying an orchestra, and they decided they wanted the orchestra to come in 4 bars later. So they needed filler material for those 4 bars. So they hadn't. So I was doing all the sessions anyway from home. Sometimes I go in for this show, Palmer Royale on Apple TV. But this time, the last few sessions I've done have been from home, overdub sessions basically. And so the orchestra was already recorded, but they needed me to do the thing before they sent it to be mixed today. So that's why it was kind of like I had to get to it. And I'm not going to be able to go very long today, so I'm just going to check in and see how everybody's doing. I saw the note there on Discord, and from Gary. Glad he's going to start folding back in with us. Hopefully, totally understand. This is not priority for anybody. So Bruce and Bob and Dennis and Holly, if you have more important things to do, please. I have to do that. Like today, I had to do. Let's see, probably shouldn't have the music here. Just anyway, it's not relevant. But if I have something I have to do, like this morning, I had something that, I'm going to do it. So, yeah. So anyway, hey, and Joseph is here. Now, Sam, you had asked about sweet picking. I'm not really known for that, but I do use it. I use little snippets of it, and I thought maybe next Monday, I can maybe be a little bit more directed on it. I'm not sure how much you would use it in a lot of situations. However, because now we talked about this too, like with bluegrass playing, like. When we played triads, remember I had I felt like, and what are the 2 types of picking? It's alternating, and what's the other one, Sam? Not sweep, but it's efficiency, economy. Thank you. And down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. That's not technically sweep picking. Sweep picking would be something where you really don't. You can do it in time. Something like that. That's more of a rake. I would call that a rake. Hey, Thomas Moore, what's going on? Yeah, it's the Martin. Sorry, let me move this down a little bit. Yeah, I remember doing a pit gig, playing with an orchestra in a pit with another guitar player, and we were friends. And the sound man comes in and goes, "Yeah, that guitar sounds really good." But my friend Bob, he said, it's the engine, not the arrows. So yeah, but thank you. It is. Oh, volume is pretty good today. Well, that's interesting because I don't think I changed anything. But generally, when you think of sweep picking, a lot of times You think of like the heavy metal thing. And I guess there's time to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So that would be. I mean, technically that would be triplet 16th notes. I used it the other day on a recording for the Phil Rosenthal show. And I got it from, I heard somebody do it on a something like this. It's something actually I've done a lot when I'm playing over like a minor vamp, like a C minor. So many ways to play it. Like you know, that's just such a great. George Benson did it in. It may actually be in the melody of The World Is a Ghetto. Is that what it is? No, Nature Boy. Nature. It's a beautiful melody. I couldn't sing it in a million years. Famous song. But I've done that for years as just kind of a thing to create a beautiful melodic idea. And all I'm doing is just chromatically going from the root to the fifth, basically, from the fifth. And it kind of has shades of James Bond a little bit. But I did this thing. I was like, so that was kind of like it was sweep picking, I guess. Although sweep picking, I almost always think of as going up and down, like that. Or I would do stuff like. So, and keep in mind, I'm still waiting, making sure that the music I did for the composer was what he wanted. So that's why I was delayed this morning, because of something I was working on for a TV show called Palm Royale. And I always try to give him options, so I did 3 takes. I actually did more than that, but then I realized I was kind of doing it not the way he wanted, so I didn't send those and did 3 more takes, kind of in the vein of what he needed, I think. We'll see. So, but yeah, so the economy picking versus the alternating thing, for me, when I do the economy picking on that, and I use economy picking all the time, but not necessarily for speed. Usually I'm doing it on if I'm picking a finger picked pattern, then I would use economy. I wouldn't do alternating. Yeah, that's just going to be too hard to snag those strings out of thin air. That's how I would use economy picking generally. But if I wanted to do like it's just a lot easier to go from that triad, alternating picked triad on adjacent strings. So just playing the D string, the G string, and the B string open. And I'm doing a triplet feel, 2, 3. But I'm not really playing triplets. I'm just playing groupings of 3 as 8th notes, assuming the tempo is like way up here. Or 16th notes if tempo's here. That's a thing you can practice definitely with a metronome. Also, I've been battling. I've got a tear in my cornea, It hurts like insane pain. It's like someone's sticking their finger in your eye nonstop. And still trying to get it to heal. Right now, the ibuprofen helps, but I don't want to take too much ibuprofen. But I had to take some this morning because I woke up and it was killing me. And I'm not sure, it may be related to dry eye. I've got so many ointments and drops I'm putting in my eyes right now. I have last week I had they put for a couple days, they put like a, oh shoot, what's it called? Hey, Gary, good to see you. They put like a lens on, a contact lens on there. This is my left eye. It's the blind eye, fortunately. But doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. And that really helped a lot, actually, because what's happening is I've got this tear in my cornea, and every time I blink, it aggravates it. It's like having a scab or a cut, and you keep hitting it. You know how that is when you cut your finger, and you're like, oh well, that's not a big deal, and then you realize like 700 times during the day how many times that part of your hand comes in contact with something. Well, that's what's happening. So imagine every time you blink, it's pain. Right now, the ibuprofen, I've got the steroid drops, and I've got antibiotics, and I've been on them for the antibiotics I've been putting in there for a week, and nothing's changed. So the doctor thinks that I may have, my cornea may be too thin or something, so not sure what's going to happen there, but it's not really affecting my right eye. Like I said, my good eye. But should I be wearing an eye patch? Maybe at night I'll start wearing an eye patch because I do tend to sleep with my left eye open, which makes it dry, which means when it's dry, then when I blink, it snags potentially. Not really sure. We're still trying to figure everything out. But an eye patch doesn't necessarily guarantee I'm not going to have my eye open. So we thought about taping my eye closed with tape like they use. I think they use it for doing makeup and things like that or something. They'll tape an eye, and I could do that every night. But I know when I wake up, it's not going to be on my face. It'll be in my nose, or it'll be on my arm or something. I thrash a lot at night, so that's probably part of the problem too. But yeah, so the alternating picking on these triads means that you're already going at the speed you need to be going when you got these other. So it's a little bit easier to kick into licks when you're already alternating. If you're doing, it's awkward. The other thing is I notice a tightness that happens when I do really fast economy picking. Like no tightness here. No, but if I try, immediately my arm starts to get tense. If I were to have to do something fast, I would use my finger. Unless they really wanted the sound of the pick, then it might be. This guitar gets played a lot, and I think that's generally really good for guitars. I mean, I've heard Takamines that sounded as good as Martin, but because they were just played all the time. It's something about, the vibrations, the love, the sweat, the grunge. I mean, I didn't want to know how dirty this fretboard is. Well, now I look at it, I think it's recently been worked on, so I think that whoever worked on it cleaned it up, so. Yeah, surgical tape would be what I would use. Sounds like Paul Simon meets. Yeah. Now I did wear an eye patch when I was a kid. They thought back in 1966, when I was 5 years old, doctors thought my blindness in my left eye was lazy eye because my eye was cockeyed. It was aimed inward. Literally cockeyed, I guess. Cockeyed eye. Would that be a redundancy? And so they put a patch on my good eye, rendering me at 5 years old completely blind, wondering what did I do wrong to deserve this. And I'm sitting in front of the TV trying to watch Captain Kangaroo, and I'm peeling up the patch. My mom's yelling at me, "Put the patch back down." You know, I'm doing this, looking under the patch to try to see the TV, because otherwise it's just, you know, I had bruised ankles all my whole. I don't remember how, I must have blacked it out because I don't remember how long this lasted, but I remember there are a few pictures of me with a patch on, and I'm just like, I'm blind. You got a blind kid. And my mom, when I tell that story, my mom would be so apologetic, and my wife would just laugh. She just thought it was so funny. They're like, what are you doing to me? What did I do wrong? You know, it affected my psyche the rest of my life. So yeah, I've worn patches before, but never on my bad eye, only on my good eye, which makes no sense. So the sweep thing, I do like, I like little micro sweeps, like you hear me do. That kind of stuff. I'll show you that next week, you know, what I'm doing there or my thinking there. It's, the other thing I might do is I might go, I might do little pentatonic sweeps, which is how Frank Gambale plays pentatonic scales. And it's like, watching him play scales is like, whoa, what the heck? I mean, I've sat 5 feet from him at a gig and watched him play for 2 hours, and just half the time I couldn't even see what he was doing so fast. But he would play like this A minor pentatonic, or let's do C minor pentatonic. You'll see why in a second. But yeah, he would do it. Like that. So what's happening is he's got three notes in a row. 3 notes on one string, and then 3 notes in a row, like that, and then 3 notes on a string, then 3 notes in a row, 3 notes on a string, and then like that. So he's alternating between sweeping and trip picking 3 notes. So, whoops. So it'll be up, down, up, down, up, down. See, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I never worked on it. I mean, I saw the video on it. I think there was a book or something. I think it was one of his videos. You can see it on YouTube. And it was cool. And it's like, whoa, he can shred those pentatonics. I mean, those just sound kind of standard, and I don't think he liked the way those, but he liked the way that sounded better, and it was just, I don't know, something about it. But I will use snippets of those. I just like the way those, I can do it that way. But sweeps have a certain kind of rakiness to them. So, yeah, I would have a very hard time making this sound like this. So again, we'll talk about that next week. This is pretty advanced stuff, and it's the nuance, the subtleness. I mean, if you're playing slow, you're not going to need necessarily be able to do sweep stuff. It's like, if you want that melody, you know, at that tempo, yeah, I would probably play it 5 different ways, but I saw a video about someone playing like a scale or a part of a scale, like a bunch of different ways on the guitar to show why it's so hard to read on guitar. I, 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 I don't find it that difficult to read on guitar. Once I find a position that works. And then most melodies, most things written for guitar are going to be guitar-esque, or they're going to be melodic, or they're going to be somewhat familiar sounding. So once you find a good position to play it in, then it's just a matter of reading there and staying in that position. Like I said, when I get music, the first thing I do is I look at the melody, the notes that I have to play, and I try to find the highest note. Like in this case, the highest note here is, well, in the first section, I can do two different sections. I can move my hand for the second section kind of thing. The first section, the highest note is an F sharp, and the lowest note is open D. And so I might find a place, like on this particular melody that I was playing, it was something like that, you know. I initially played it in one position, like I would. But I found this D note was a little too boomy, and this E note too, but this D, and the open D was a little bit more pleasant and clearly more acoustic sounding to have an open string ring out at the end of the phrase. And ultimately, I ended up playing the melody with just my index finger. Because it gave us a softer sound that we were looking for. So, yeah. I mean, there's so many picks and stuff like that. So, the strings I'm using on these, Thomas, let's see. No, these are, I think these are 12s on top. So light, so extra light would be 10s. Heavies or mediums are 13s. I don't think they're mediums. I either use mediums or lights, and so these are 12. And these are Elixir, and these are probably nanowebs. I haven't had polywebs in a while, and then the new ones are I don't have the Elixir thing up, but yeah, I kind of endorse Elixir. I mean, they don't really use my likeness very much or anything like that, but I mean, I really like Elixir strings for so many reasons, but are you living with a bag on your leg? Ouch, not fun. Oof. I'm sorry, Joseph, that's awful. You've been trying to learn to read music finally. One classical site said focusing on intervals is more effective. Yeah, I'm G clef, F clef. Oh, F clef is bass clef, and G clef is just standard clef, right? I don't know what the G clef, standard clef. I think G clef is C clef. I hate reading C clef. That one's a pain, but yeah, so reading, really to be honest, reading is one of those things where if you're not going to use it, you're probably going to lose it. I read a lot. When I write music, I read. If you're writing music, if you're writing songs or you're writing melodies, like I'm working on another gypsy jazz thing, but I'm writing these notes out on paper, and so because that's the way I like to read them. I'm not going to do tab. I may make a note of what fret I'm at just so I know if I'm doing. I don't go up here. And that's a common thing in classical guitar notation, is to note frets and things like that. Nowadays, you can get so much classical stuff you can get tab. I'm just not a fan of it, but it's a temptation because so much classical music, particularly the concert repertoire stuff, is like, whoa, how the F do I play this? And you get And the music notation says, play at the 7th fret. And reading that particular piece isn't real hard, particularly in that section, because every other note is the open B string. So you're really just reading the melody, what's basic. So, and Gary, what you said about reading intervals, that's generally how I look at music when I'm reading music. I'm reading the intervals and less the notes. Not even sure how that came about or why, but it's more akin to I think reading the intervals is more akin to what's it when you were a kid you were taught to read. I went to a very progressive elementary school, which was trying all the new things in Washington, D.C., and we learned sight reading, which was basically memorize words. It was ridiculous. Everybody else in the country was learning phonics. And so I feel like reading the intervals is more like a phonics approach to playing guitar. You're looking at phrases, and it causes you to see chunks of music rather than individual notes. If you get in the habit of reading individual notes, well, when I read, a book, I'm still stuck sight reading. Okay, I'm every word, and so I get so tired so fast because it's like chop 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 chop. I can read fairly fast if I have to. But when I finally moved to a country, out in the country, to a school district there, I was so far behind everybody else. It was ridiculous. I'm living in, Washington, D.C., going to one of the most, advanced schools in the country. And then I go in the country and I'm like a year behind everybody. Because they weren't doing any of that crap. So I taught my kids how to read, and we used phonics. And so that was pretty cool because they were reading by the time they were 3 and 4 years old, because I started working phonics books with them when they were little. So I understand phonics. I just didn't learn. That's not how I read. Yeah, you're still stuck on individual notes. Yeah, to be honest, it just depends on the kind of reading. I mean, ultimately, when I'm reading for a session, the goal is to not sound like you're reading. And some of this reading I was doing for this Palmer Royale thing was very kind of rhythmically complex, because it was like the computer was interpreting the retards and the ebb and flows. And so I really more just listened to it and use the notes as those are the notes I want to get, but the rhythm is coming more from what I'm hearing, because it was an orchestra. Hey, Holly, good to see you. Oh, you're not that late. I was an hour late, so we just started. But yeah, reading is, like I said, kind of one of those things. If you use it, and if you're writing music, you're going to be using it. So if you're writing songs, or you're writing licks, or you just make it, say you come up with a lick, or you're transcribing a solo, or there's some lick off of some record. Man, I really like that. Instead of writing it out in tab, try to write it out in music. I mean, you're going to be learning 17 things at once when you do that. You're going to learn about rhythmic notation. You're going to learn about pitch notation. You're going to be learning about position playing. You're going to be learning about you working on your ear. I mean, you know, it's super duper easy to watch a YouTube video on how to play a lick or a solo or something like that. It's a lot more productive if the process for you is a lot more difficult. If it's really easy for you to get a lick, you know, by, you know, pulling up a screenshot of some tablature, then you're going to learn the lick right away. So what you've learned is one thing, that lick. Or whatever, right? But if you just use your ear to do it, now you're doing many things. You're working your ear, you're making mistakes, you're correcting mistakes, you think you have it right, you play along, and it's like, you just are like, wait, what? You know, and then you finally get it. I mean, I used, back when, you know, albums were 33 and a third, you could slow it down to 18. Remember, if you had a record player that went down to 18, it would be, that would be down an octave and a half step. So that lick that was like, you know, George Benson lick or whatever that was like, you know, whatever, it would be down an octave and a half step and be. And I might have a prayer figuring it out. So, but I still was using my ear. And then once I had the lick down, I would speed it up and try to play along with the record to see if I have it. And I could tell, oh, nope, there's a note wrong in there. Okay, what note is wrong? What did I mess up? So, if I'm eating fudge, I'm doing fine. All right, so I'm getting, the cue got approved. Not cue, but my playing got approved. So I have to heart that so he knows that I saw it. And then yeah, so all right, I think we're good there. What you got? I've been super busy too, on top of having this deal with this eye thing. I've just been crazy busy. Yeah, I had some insane. Where is it? Oh, did I throw it away? Oh, you know what? I don't think I printed it up. A lot of times when I'm playing electric, I don't print charts. I just print I just do PDFs and put them on the screen because I can face the screen. But when I'm recording acoustics, I don't want to have a mic here because I don't want the reflections of the screen and anything noise that's happening there. So I turn this way, and so I have to print stuff and put it here. So I don't print it if I don't have to. But I was doubling on electric. I was doubling a bunch of strings. Let me see. Might be able to solo it. I won't say what it's for, but if I solo it, you can hear, you know, what I was doing. Let's see. Let's see. And I don't think I did any acoustics at all on this project, but I was working most of the week on this project. A bunch of different cues. A video game. Yeah, so let's see. No. A violin double. Okay, so let me just solo this. I'm going to turn it down because it might be really loud. Yeah. What else? So much of the game was alternating between 4/4 and 7/8. So, you know, I'm playing all this and I'm kind of reading these notes of da da da. You know, 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So I'm having to kind of count like that sometimes, just to keep track of where the heck I am. Uh, so yeah, this composer in particular likes to write. He's a percussionist. His first main instrument is drums and percussion. That's what he studied in college, and he's a big composer now. And so a lot of his stuff is going to be mixed meters, but a lot of like who's it? No, it's it. Mission Impossible's in 5. There's a lot of stuff that's in 7 or alternating 4, 4, and 7. So it's not uncommon. Once you have it, in fact, the funny thing is, once I'm doing it for a while, it's hard to think in 4/4. Like I did, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, I did a whole bunch of 7/8 right before going to church. And I get to church and I'm like, what's wrong with this track? Everything sounds so weird, and it was 4/4. So I did a whole movie score, and the whole movie score was in 7/4. Right? For 2 days. So for 2 days, I'm playing 7/4. I worked late the second day because I was playing with an orchestra, but anytime somebody calls me to play with an orchestra, I'm like, are you sure you want me with the orchestra, or do you want me as an overdub? Like, oh no, I want you there, Like, okay. And it ended up replacing everything I did with the orchestra because they were concentrating so much on the orchestra. They were like, oh, you know what? We really wanted a 12-string there. Well, it just said guitar, so I reached for the guitar, Or, oh, we really wanted tremolo on that electric baritone. I'm like, yeah, didn't say that there, and you didn't tell me, I'm just playing what's written. So I said I could have just come in and saved you money. Not that I'm trying to save money, I guess, but save time. But ultimately what I did was, I ended up having to stick around and do it. So I'm coming back late at like midnight. I'm in Hollywood at midnight, driving home. I turn on the radio and it's like K-Rock or something playing 4/4, and I'm like, what's wrong with this song? The movie was called Revolution OS, and it was I think about you could probably find it. You can hear me play some of the hardest 12-string stuff I've ever done was on that. Kind of had to reinvent the guitar for that particular track. Let's see if I can find. Might be able to find the score. Revolution OS score. Yeah, 2001. That sounds about right. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. So it's a documentary about GNU Linux multilingual. If here, I can send it to you. Copy. Here we go. I could put it here. I actually did watch the documentary years later. Because I'm not even sure where it was released when it first came out. I'm assuming it was just, festivals and stuff like that. So it was may have won some things. But the composer, he ended up getting a gig doing. Here's another version or another one. Yeah. It's several people have uploaded it. So if you just look for, it's like 10 of them here on YouTube. But he ended up going. He works for the L.A. Philharmonic, and I think he does orchestrating or something like that. And I think he also does a lot of TV and movie stuff, but he doesn't write for it, so he can't really hire me anymore, which is a bummer because I had done a few sessions for him early on in my career, and anytime a composer goes out of the composing game that was hiring me, it's a bummer. So let's see, Sam. Let's see. When I joined the impromptu band for the Greek festival, it wasn't explained to me, but it sounded like alternating from 4/4 to 5/4. Then I realized it was 9/8. Yeah, and it just depends. I mean, like 9/8, you can count that way, but you could also count 9/8, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 or 1 2 3 2 2 3 3 2. But then sometimes it's 1 2 1 2. So you just want to get to 9 somehow. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 10. Or you could start with the 3 at the beginning. 1 2, and you can kind of hear these things if you take like a triad or something. Because 9/8 could be 1 2 3 like that. 1 2 3 2 2 3 3 2 3. That's 9. Or it could be 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 like that. Or it could be start with it could put the 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's see, wait. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So you could do 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. Yeah, and so you're right. I think there's a lot of Greek music that does that. Yeah, 1 2 1 exactly. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2. But you could do 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2. It just depends. But much of the 7/8 stuff I was doing, it was like it was alternating between 4/4 and 7/8. So it was kind of like. Let's see. So it was like just 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So it was pretty crazy, but yeah. But 9/8, again, it just depends. 9/8 could be just like. Yeah, so next week, Sam, hopefully, like I said, I've been super busy and my eyes been jacking up. So I'm going to have Beth, I tried to put that lens, they gave me a lens to take home and put on if it was bothering me. And as long as I'm on ibuprofen, I'm fine, but I don't want to overtake ibuprofen. And so I didn't take any on Saturday at all. And then Sunday morning I woke up and it was hurting. And so I had to take some ibuprofen. A couple times yesterday, and then today I woke up and it was hurting, and so I took that. And so basically ibuprofen takes away the swelling, and it numbs it, I guess, enough so I'm not feeling it right now at all. But it like makes it like if it's hurting and my eyes water and everything, it's super sensitive to light. Like I have to sit in a dark room, so it's a pain. But I was able to get a lot of work done last week, so I was able to work around it somehow. I think about that as I get older. I'm just like, does things keep breaking down or whatever, right? I mean, we're all experiencing that. And it's like, I want to keep working if I can. So, part of that is to, that's why I continue to work out. I try to keep working out, keep exercising. Like I try to eat right. Try to drink my coffee every day. Heart health or whatever. But basically the plan is, to keep working because I love what I do, and my clients are all a lot younger than me. I mean, that composer that writes in 7844, whatever. I mean, the composer was working for this morning. He's maybe 40, working on major TV shows and stuff like that, and so it's fine. I mean, at some point they're going to meet someone new, some new guitar player or something like that. And to be honest, we were in Ireland, and he like I told him we were going, and I gave all my composers, and this one composer he texted me, when do you leave for Ireland? And I go, oh, we leave, well, I think it was a Monday or something. He goes, oh shoot, because we're doing a session that night, and I wanted you to come play. And I was like, oh man, really? I told you for 3 months. I've told you the dates, but there's other musicians involved, so it's not just me. And he has to have everything ready, so he couldn't do it on Sunday or on Friday or whatever. So, so I had to not take that session, which is a bummer, And I asked him who he used, and he told me George Deering, and I went, oh, geez. Well, George has done, if you look up George Deering, it's spelled Doering. Literally every movie you've ever seen, he played guitar on. I mean, he's like the king. George and endearing, like that. It's pronounced Deering. But he's a monster. And I'm like, well, then you called me back. I'm glad. So I'm working for him still. So it's like when someone like that gets called on a session for you or whatever, you're worried that you're never going to work again. But he does it. Turmeric or pine, help with inflammation. I don't know. I'm apparently now allergic to pineapple, which I didn't. I love pineapple. It's my favorite fruit. And I the last 3 or 4 times I've had it, and one of the last times was accidental. I forgot. I get the worst cramps, like just really bad cramps. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And now I figured out it's yep. Oh, you're allergic to bromelain? Or is that what I'm allergic to, you think? But it's sudden because I've never eaten pineapple all my life and I've never had a problem with it before, but suddenly I am. So maybe, I definitely know that there's some plants and stuff that I'm allergic to that I didn't used to be allergic to. Like I'll get allergies like people do talk about, and I'm like, I've never had those before. Accidental pineapple. Sounds like a cute song. I don't know. Maybe. But Gary, I saw your post. Let's see. Shoot, wait a minute. What am I looking for? Oh, I got this. Oops. Bum bum. Oh shoot, I've got work to do. I forgot. Let's see. Here. All right. Yeah, you're Gary S., right? That's you. Just send Gary. I get so confused with different handles. Or is that a different Gary? So, should we write a song called Accidental Pineapple? Should it be like 6 chords? Kind of pull in like some of that Hawaiian reference. Generally, when you tune a Hawaiian guitar, you'll tune it a lot of times to like a G6 tuning. So if I want to sound like a Hawaiian slide guitar, I'll tune to a 6th chord. Um, oh, that's another Gary. Oh, okay. So I'm a little confused. Yeah. So, well, the avatar's different. Um, oh, Gary Schultz. That's right. Thank you, Bruce. So I think Gary Schultz was going to be joining us again. Gary Book's here quite often. All right, so I've got some work I got to do. I'm wondering if I should take some ibuprofen just to get ahead of the eye thing. I'm wondering if it's not going to bother me the rest of the day. I think it's always been kind of a morning issue, but it's always been like once every 2 or 3 weeks, and now it's every morning. And then the doctor said, yeah, you have a tear in your cornea is torn or something, and so it's the flap that's my eyelid is hitting the flap, and that's what's causing the irritation. So, yeah. So next week I'll talk about sweep picking. I'll try to make it relevant for even the beginner. There's definitely something that can be learned from it, but I don't, and I can show you the grand sweepy things, but I'm not sure again how much. I don't ever use those, unless I want to show off. I remember this guy years ago. He I'll show it to you next week. He could do that stuff like crazy. He was from Seattle. I thought, man, this kid is going somewhere. I don't know whatever happened to him, but he moved down to LA to be like, do what I do. And then I never really, he was a mutual friend, a friend of our friend. So you learned much from me. I don't know how much you, I hope. Yeah. So yeah, I wish I could teach songs, but I really don't. I've talked about this before. I thought about doing a video. I could do a video on my first lesson. Like if you were to take a guitar lesson from me, you've never played guitar before, what would the first lesson be? And I thought about doing a video of that because it does have a little snippet of Peter Gunn in it. But the idea is I taught like the names of the strings. I taught you an E minor chord and an A2 chord, and you go back and forth. I taught Peter Gunn, and you could do it with one finger or 4 fingers, and have varying levels of that. And so I thought about maybe going this is the first lesson I would teach every first beginner for never had a guitar in their hand lesson kind of thing, just to kind of give them some little victories and something to think about and work on. Anyway, it was one of those things where if you saw the first lesson, you could see, I totally understand what the second lesson would be, and the third lesson, and so on and so forth. It's like you keep adding to it. And so I never even wrote any of this down. It was just like, okay, now you've got those things down. Let's move to these things. And so that might be kind of a cool video. 2-finger pentatonic scale, yeah. In open E, yeah, that would be one of the things I would teach. Yeah, smash that like button. Yeah, but I mean, anyway, I've been thinking about doing a video like that. So we had a few people here, even though it was late. 26 was the peak, average 20 pretty much. So a couple good games yesterday, NFL games. I'm more of an NFL than college. I don't really follow college at all. That Bills game, the Bills-Ravens, what a game that was. I mean, holy cow. So many miscues, and then ultimately the Bills came back and won it. And it was a first time ever an NFL game ended 41-40. That's never been the score of any game ever. So go Buckeyes. I know we have Buckeye fans here, and I know Sam is rooting for a return to champion. How's Michigan doing? Well, Ohio State did well. They beat Arch Manning and Texas last week, and I'm assuming they won. The first week is generally a lot of good matchups. The next week is always like the second week of the season is always the easy wins for the big teams. So, hey, Zach is in the house. How's it going? Good to see you, man. You've been traveling a lot. Zach's traveling all over the world playing guitar. He's living the life, man. He's living the dream. Yeah, you and my friend Rod Castro. Rod's out all the time too. So, but yeah, it's cool that you're getting busy doing that kind of stuff. I hope you're making a living. It's hard. It's hard touring. I mean, that's the beauty though of doing that. You can't be replaced with AI. And it's like when people go, oh, this band on AI, that what Beato made up an artist and in 2 minutes had a song, and people are like, that's a great song, and I'm like, well, I can't wait to see the artist live. Oh, wait, never mind. And I could go to Suno and say, hey, that artist you created, so-and-so, create 10,000 more songs just like it and release them all. And water down the brand so much, it's like, it's worthless. And that's it's crazy. But if you're out there touring with an artist and people are paying money to see an artist, that's always going to be the case. In fact, more so, I think that's actually going to be, I think, a growing part of the music business because it's going to be an antidote to people. People are going to be less connected, I think, not more connected with AI. I think young people are getting less connected. I just saw that news story about the New York State has banned phones from first bell to last bell. They have new bells in the hallways that say, okay, the phone, all electronic devices go away. And the kids kind of don't know what to do with themselves, but then they start to say they kind of like it because now they're sitting in the lunchroom and they're just talking to friends or playing games and they're touching grass basically. And I think that the young people actually really don't want to be so connected to their phones. And it's funny because I see, people in their 50s and 60s that spend the whole time hunched over a phone. I'm guilty of it too. And if I didn't have so much stuff to work on with guitar, I probably would never be off my phone. So it's sad. But anyway, yeah, Sam, good to see, or Zach, sorry, good to see you. Sam, good to see you. Holly, thank you. Bruce, thank you. Bob, Dennis. Dennis was around here somewhere. I know I saw him pop in for a second. Probably popped in to say I'm not going to be here. I'm trying to play Peaches. Oh, full drop D and everything. Oh, Bieber's thing. Yeah, that's a crazy track. Full drop D, I think that's right. And an extra half step lower, yeah. And I think he's playing with flat wounds. And then he's playing through a weird... I actually got this pedal, I think. Is it this? Where is it? Yeah, not that pedal. I can't remember, but there was a pedal I was playing through that emulates a tape deck. So that's kind of cool. It's like I think he's like going through some kind of tape preamp or something. So really, McGee is a really good guitar player. Really interesting player. Kind of does his own thing. So it's MK dot capital G. I think this is how you spell it. It's MK dot G. I think. I don't know him. I wasn't involved at all on the Bieber record. The two records. He's got 2 records out now. Not surprising. I mean, it was a miracle that I got called in as much as I did in the first place. And if he calls me, I'm happy to help out anytime, any way I can. But he's got a whole team now of people, new team of people. My friend Josh, my good friend Josh, who's his engineer, is still mixing these records. But he's not tracking them, I don't think, generally. I mean, maybe he did a little bit of that because it looked like I saw some videos or some pictures of them over at A&M or Henson. But yeah, so you have a song on Rocksmith, so I could practice for that. Oh, nice. Oh, right. Nice. Okay. All right. I should get going. Oh, 6'9" is in the house. Good to see you. Thank you, everybody. See you later, Gary. Holly, I said bye. Okay. Joseph, good to see you all. God bless you. Have fun. Stay safe. Joseph, be healthy. Try to get outside and get some sun. And I'll talk to you all. I'll see you next Monday.